Crystal with Mrs. Fine Fettle, and I am doing this video on how I planned Elise's second birthday party, which was a Paris theme party. Originally I was going to do a vintage travel theme, but I decided to narrow it down to a Paris theme, and the reason why I did that was because I looked around my house and I realized I had quite a few things that I could use that were Paris themed or inspired, and I also had found a printable from SimoneMadeIt.com that was a passport to Paris, and I actually really liked it. And so with those two things I decided to stick with the Paris theme. So normally I have in the past have designed all that type of stuff, all the banners and flyers and invitation, everything completely from scratch, because you know, I know my way around Photoshop and stuff because I'm a landscape architect and a lot of my schooling was graphic design, so I'm able to do that. But this time, because of our trip, the 3 weeks which I normally would have been starting to prepare those type of things for the party, I was abroad, so I couldn't do it. So I took a shortcut and bought that package of printables for $14.95, and that kind of seems a little bit expensive, but it really is not, because with all the things I did for Elise's first birthday party that I custom create all on my own, I used a lot of nice scrapbooking paper, and I had to buy quite a few books of that, and that's not cheap either. So it wasn't that bad at all. So things that came along that printables, I only used about half that was available, and I'll put links to all this in the description. But you know, I was able to do the little Elise banner, and all I had to do is, you know, edit so it said Elise, cut it out with my paper cutter. You could easily do scissors as well. I just used a hole punch and just some ribbon from the dollar store. And so then I did the banners. I also did that happy birthday banner as well. I used the template to do the buffet tags for the buffet table for food. I did the cupcake wrappers. I cut out a few signs. I used the little tags for the little loot bags. They also have options just to do patterned paper that goes with the theme, so I just printed out a couple sheets of the patterned paper, and I was, you know, putting these pictures that I had up. So that's what I did with that. It also came with the invitations that I used for the party. It has thank you cards, so I already have that all ready to go. So if you are in a bind or you just don't particularly, you know, want to design your own, or just don't feel like you have the skills to do it, I definitely suggest looking on Pinterest or Etsy and see what you can find as far as from downloads, because you don't even really have to be crafty as long as you can use your, you know, paper cutter or scissors and put it together, you're good to go. So that was great for me. So also, like I had said, look around your house too and see if there's anything that inspires you on a certain theme or that you could just use. So for example, I had already had this little Eiffel Tower thing in my house, so you know, I put that to use. I already had this large photo or picture hanging on the wall, so I just moved that to a different spot in the house, you know, on her cake dessert table. I had the little vintage suitcase. If you are on Facebook with me, you'll notice that from Brady's monthly picture. That's in there. So, and I used Pinterest for, you know, some inspiration on how to compose the dessert tables and the food tables, and I really liked how it turned out. But this birthday party was definitely toned down and a lot easier to do than the first birthday party I did. And if you're interested in seeing the first party, I have a bunch of those videos up, so you'll just have to look them up. But in the end, I don't think there seemed to be a huge difference between the two parties. They both turned out really well, but this second birthday party, because some of the shortcuts I did, just was a lot less work. One thing, I really just focused on the dessert table and the food table as far as decorating, and for her first birthday party I was decorating like a bunch of the different rooms in the house. I was doing all these crafts for decorations and things like that. So I toned it down, and I expect to. I feel like I want to do more elaborate birthday parties for the first birthday party, maybe the 5th, 10th, and 16th or something like that. But every single year isn't gonna be a huge to do. So this was a lot smaller guest list, and just toned down a bit. So we really enjoyed it though. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? So the little favors, as well as the little pretzels, are just Altoid tins. I couldn't find a tin, just a plain tin that was cheap. So what I actually ended up doing was going to Costco, buying a big package of Altoids for $5, and then taking the Altoids out, spray painting the lids black, and just writing Paris on there. And the little Paris city scene is a free printable from by Joel I think, oh, it's made by Joel, and it's just the travel size paper city scene, and I just thought it was really cute. It was kind of in my mind from having done the busy bag swap, something that was quiet that the kids could play with. We'll see if any of them actually enjoy it, but I think it's a cute idea anyway. And so I liked doing those, so I'll put a link to that as well. The cake. So I put up that video of having you guys kind of decide what cake I should make, and you guys could tell I went with the first one. And like I had mentioned in the video, it really was the cake that I thought would take me the least amount of time, and it was. So that's really the one that I decided to go with because of the time element. Having an almost 4-month-old, makes it challenging to get anything done. But I really liked how it turned out. Doing a square cake like that is very challenging for me, who, doesn't know a ton about cakes, but trying to get the corners semi sharp looking on a square cake. I made the fondant and just used a ribbon around the bottom that I had around the house, created the bow and out of fondant as well, and the two for on top of her cake, and then I piped on the Eiffel Tower using a royal icing in a piping bag. So I did attempt to try to film it, but it became just a little difficult at times, and the light was failing, and it just wasn't looking good. And for a couple of you girls that just want to see it, that would be great. And if I could say only my subscribers can see this video, that would be awesome. But if I made it public, I would have just got creamed. I mean, on my rose cake tutorial, you wouldn't be or I think I'd be surprised about the amount of really, really mean comments I've gotten on some of those things. So anyway, it just wasn't professional enough to put up. So and so anyway, halfway through the making of the cake, I just stopped filming because it was midnight and I was tired and I just wanted to get it done. So I apologize, but if you guys have questions about making cakes like that, I can easily find you a much better tutorial on how to get you to make your own cakes similar. So anyway, I really liked how it turned out. I thought it was great, even just doing the one tier, even the inspiration cake was 3. I think it looked really cute. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? The food. The food I kept pretty simple. I was inspired just by the street food that we had in Paris. So I did little demi baguettes, you know, kind of smaller baguette sandwiches in kind of the type of food that you would find in Paris. Ham and Swiss and prosciutto and mozzarella and things like that. What you didn't see is I also had a little panini grill set up so that people could grill their sandwiches just like you can in Paris. You can either have it, you know, take it away cold, or you can have it grilled. So people were able to make, you know, paninis if they wanted to. I also had the croissant sandwiches as well, chocolate croissants, which you'll see. I ended up making little quiches from scratch. I wanted to take a shortcut on that and just buy frozen ones, but I couldn't find any, so they're actually really simple to make, so that wasn't a big deal in the end. And what else? That's about it. So I used kind of a like Parisian theme for the food. If I would have gone all out, you know, like a first birthday party, I probably would have made the French macaroons again, and I probably would have done crepes as well, but that was just a little too much. So anyway, but the food was enjoyed by everyone. I really liked it. It was easy to prepare, just you know, the day before or the morning of, you can just you know, assemble the sandwiches instead of worrying about a whole bunch of serving platters. What I did is I just took big chunks of freezer paper and laid them out on my table and laid the sandwiches out on that. And so that was a nice kind of a clean look, instead of having to worry about matching platters or buying platters or getting plastic ones from the dollar store or anything like that. I didn't have to worry about that. So that was good. I did take advantage of the dollar store for the tablecloths and stuff. They're just cheap plastic ones. What I like to do to make it look a little better is I'll do two contrasting colors, like the pink and the black, and then you'll see I used like the black, I cut it up and used it as like a runner, and that just gives it a little better look. And that's about it. Sometimes I try to find either just craft paper to use as a tablecloth, or you know, or fabric from Goodwill or something, if it happens to be, you know, something that works, but I just didn't find it, so I just took advantage of the dollar store. Not the greenest option, because they are plastic and just gonna be thrown away, but you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So I think that's it. So the last thing I just want to show you is probably just the favorite gift, at least from my perspective, that Elise got. And that was this really cute sleeping bag. It comes in a little backpack, and it has a flashlight and a water bottle, and my cousin just threw in a little pair of pajamas, and it's called Forest Animals Sleeping Bag by Cell Corp. And I just thought it was adorable. Elise loves it. It's gonna be great for sleepovers at her grandparents' house and friend's house. So that's it. So if you guys have any other specific questions, let me know. But overall, I think her party turned out really nice, and it will be fun to plan more. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.